This is the AI News Flash for August 27th, 3 a.m. UTC. First up, Nvidia has agreed to buy Hugging Face, the open-source AI model repository, for $12.9 billion, according to the information. Hugging Face is where developers share, test, and download models and datasets. It is the GitHub-like layer that sits between OpenAI research and the companies turning those models into products. Reuters picked up the report, but neither company immediately responded to requests for comment, so this is not a closed transaction yet.
What stands out is how fast the price climbed.
Just this week, Hugging Face turned down a $500 million investment from Nvidia at a roughly $7 billion valuation because it did not want one dominant investor shaping its direction. Its last round in 2023 raised $235 million at $4.5 billion, backed by Salesforce, Google, Amazon, Nvidia, Intel, AMD, Qualcomm, and IBM. Annualized revenue recently reached about $150 million after a 50% jump in 2 months. Nvidia's logic is straightforward. Successful open models keep demand for its chips broad and act as a counterweight to closed labs building their own AI server chips. But Hugging Face became valuable precisely because it belonged to no one and served everyone. So a platform owned by a chip company will not inherit that neutrality automatically. Second, SoftBank is in talks to buy a majority stake in 1X Technologies, the OpenAI-backed humanoid robot developer, in a deal valuing the startup at about $6 billion. The information reported, "The talks are ongoing and terms could change. SoftBank Group and 1X did not immediately respond to requests for comment." OpenAI invested in 1X back in 2023 through its OpenAI Startup Fund alongside Tiger Global and a group of Norway-based investors. The two companies also discussed the possibility of OpenAI itself acquiring 1X last year. This builds on SoftBank's broader push into robotics. Last year, it agreed to acquire the robotics business of Swiss engineering group ABB for $5.4 billion. And the pattern now looks like an attempt to own physical AI from components all the way through to finished humanoids. Third, Kioxia Holdings plans to build a new production facility at its plant in northern Japan, with investment expected to top 1 trillion yen, or about $6.27 billion, Nikkei Asia reports. Kioxia holds the third largest global share in NAND flash memory, behind Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix. This expansion follows the Korean rivals, who have already been boosting output, but the driver is surging memory demand from AI data centers. Generative AI inference workloads consume large capacity storage structurally, and supply of high-capacity solid-state drives and nearline products has tightened sharply. Kioxia runs its Yokkaichi and Kitakami plants under a long-running joint venture with SanDisk of the United States, and the Yokkaichi agreement now extends through the end of 2034. This new fab plan fits the wider capacity expansion across the NAND camp built on AI demand assumptions. Fourth, Taiwanese chip packaging supplier Powertech is aiming to start production at the world's first panel-level packaging facility for AI chips as soon as early 2027. The company has committed $2.2 billion, a timeline that would put it ahead of TSMC in adopting this generation of packaging. The targets are server CPUs, AI computing chips, and advanced optical components, all essential to AI infrastructure. Panel-level packaging encapsulates chips on large rectangular substrates instead of round wafers. That improves area utilization and is expected to make large AI packages cheaper to mass produce. AMD and Broadcom are seen as likely first adopters. Advanced packaging is one of the biggest bottlenecks in AI semiconductors, so an alternative to the current dependence on TSMC's COs is worth watching closely. Fifth, Meta has agreed to pay up to $18 billion and add stronger child safety measures to Facebook and Instagram, settling a landmark case over teen social media addiction. The agreement resolves claims brought by nearly every state. Just over $17 billion goes to a lawsuit filed jointly by 29 states in 2023, with the remainder covering other states and territories. The claims alleged Meta designed its platforms to addict children and misled consumers about their safety. As part of the deal, Meta agreed to platform changes including daily time limits for teen users. Notably, Meta did not admit wrongdoing. The settlement ends a federal trial years in the making, one of the highest profile tests of whether social media companies harm children. By putting recommendation algorithm design itself within reach of legal liability, It sets a precedent that reaches across every company doing AI-driven content recommendation. That's all for this AI News Flash.